Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body-Culinary, and I'm coming just to check in with you. For those of you endeavoring or maybe considering going oil-free, or perhaps have fine hair. That's what we're dealing with over here. Not that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're in full acceptance of. This is radical self-acceptance over here. So anytime I'm on, the carpets start kicking it in. So I hope your day is off to a great start. This is Body-Culinary, and we're going to talk about just a little trimming his hair and holding on to length. This may or may not be concern of you to you if you have fine hair. I have very fine hair, and I have embraced the fro, so I'm not twisting. And I literally just washed it, so it's still wet. It usually dries very quickly because there's nothing in it. And I just gave it. I was saying I wouldn't cut it, but I just gave it a little cut some days ago. And also just got back in from a really wonderful retreat that I was chefing for. So yeah, stick around. We talk about trimming this fine hair. If you're new here in Body-Culinary, professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman, shout out to you, whatever your expression is. And on this channel, I love to share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance, really celebrating and appreciating the unique features that I have been divinely assigned. This is what I got. This is what I've been assigned, and that's what I'm rocking with. Because I find, although there is such a manic drive to consume so many products, I actually find that embracing my natural stuff, what I've got, my natural features, it lends itself to relaxation and peace. Once you get into self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance, radical because in this time that we're in, it's almost like you can't feel comfortable getting a pimple or wearing your natural skin. I feel really fortunate to be able to be comfortable in my skin as someone that's had a lot of acne. My face is looking like pop rocks and gravel, like the sidewalk. So I feel fortunate, and I also feel fortunate, in just sitting with myself in patience and going along for the process to see what my hair will do and what it will behave like. So yeah, this is it. This is what I got, and that's how we're working it over here. So I did decide to cut it. So if you're new to this channel, I share radical self-acceptance and anything having to do with 3 leverage lifestyle practices. Anything having to do with the garden and growing your own food. It's a deep therapy, y'all. It's deep therapy, more than I can express in a few minutes. Your personal movement practice, which hopefully you've activated or reactivated. It's the best part of my day. And by the way, 5 a.m. In the morning, Eastern Standard Time, we're up. Well, those that can drag their butts out of the bed for Harriet Squats, the Body-Culinary Soul workout. It's a nice Tootsie Roll of dynamic flexibility, cardio, and strength, just in your small space. All you need is a mat and some water, and bring your body. This is the original machine right here. So that's what we're up to at 5 a.m. in the morning. So the early bird gets a prize. Plus, you're up early enough to prepare some healthy food for yourself. There's some coaching involved, corrective exercise, and most of all, support for those endeavoring to consume high octane fuel and food that loves you back, basically, and doesn't deposit a whole lot of waste on your waistline to clog up your arteries, right? We want some longevity, over here. So if you are interested in this kind of content, feel free. Go ahead and give the video a like. So maybe perhaps it might be somebody else or some other folks out there looking to see like, let me see what my hair can do. And all the time and energy and resources. Now, I'm not into like no care. I luxuriate over here. I take very good care of myself. That's a priority. That's not what we're saying. But I'm saying, and I can appreciate someone that looks beautiful that has a perm style. People may not like it, but I can appreciate makeup. However, you will have to decide what your sweet spot is. What is your priority? I prioritize play and relaxation in my skin and not going crazy over an ever moving goal post of so-called beauty that somebody's making up as they go along. Meanwhile, I'll be walking around with low esteem, feeling nuts, and crazy because I'm following someone else's narrative. That doesn't work for me. So I really want to be comfortable with myself. My intention is to be comfortable with the aging process, right? Which is interesting. I've been having this conversation with just a couple of ladies in this retreat that we just came on. Shout out to Chef Aki, the natural supernatural woman retreat, which I just chefed for the week. Awesome. Stunning on the ocean. It was really, really beautiful. So I just think it's really I think it's interesting that Afro women culturally, we never had a problem culturally. Every human group of humans, and we're not a monolith as Afro people, but every group of people has this stuff. We never had a problem with being shapely and voluptuous. Health is its own distinction, but that was never our problem culturally. Whether you were in the diaspora, coming from the continent, in the Americas, down south, the Caribbean, we always appreciated curvaceous, hips, glutes, thighs, breasts. Uh, we always had an appreciation for our shape. So I don't know what happened. Well, I'm sure we could backtrack to what happened. But it seems like we've picked up on some of the mores of some of our other fellow human beings that I don't think it's working for us. This is my perspective. I'm not telling folks what to do. It's just one woman's perspective. And yeah, we're really, I don't know. It seems like a lot, a lot of the alterations that we're doing to ourselves. I feel like at the undertone, what I would call the undertone greetings, I find that it can, in the long term, it can actually drive that splinter in. Like it comes through the back door. It can drive insecurities and feelings of not being good enough and a frenetic, spastic, anxiety ridden drive to fit into a narrative, into a mold that we can never be. I'm never gonna have Valerie June locks. Shout out to Valerie June, but that's not my hair. It's 30 locks. I only know it looks thick because I've embraced the afro. So I found a way to embrace what works for me. And I think that as Afro women, and everybody's welcome on this channel, child, because I can learn from anybody. I'm open to respectful dialogue. I don't have the only perspective. As long as we're respectful, right? I can learn from anyone. Though with Afro women, obviously we have a unique narrative, right? Anybody had perm burns? Scalp, damage from too tight braids, ears getting singed off from really dangerously hot combs. How many times have I seen, endless times I've seen on YouTube, women saying, "Oh, I'm not going to dye my hair." And I'm not anti anything. I'm just making an observation. Most of the women I know that have locks have experienced damage in the texture and the feel of their hair. Now, that being said, maybe there's some things we can get, away with. Well, if we look long term, which of course, who's thinking long term in their 20s? Who's thinking long term? Now we are really doing another level of damage, I think, to ourselves. Again, I'm not telling folks what to do, and this may not be everyone, but I'm observing, especially with young women, we're doing some damage to ourselves, and some of them are intangibles that you can't account for. And it's like, I don't know where you would go to have these kinds of conversations, because I think it's a conflict of interest to go to someone that's offering you a service or alteration for profit to ask them about how you look. Something I've heard during the whole so-and-so demic, a saying that Nikki Giovanni said. She said, someone asked her a question. It was this panel with Nikki Giovanni, some other really prolific Afro women. And this woman asked her a question, something about self-esteem. She said, "Baby, you going to people that don't like you to tell you that you're pretty. Stop doing that." And I think the more seasoned you are with life, you just get not information. I love distinction. There's a distinction between hard-earned life wisdom and a frame of reference with some life experience to compare and contrast, not just going by hearsay, what you've read on in books or what you've Googled, not even just what your mother told you, but a lot of wisdom is hard earned. What is alarming is that we may now have a whole generation of women, not even just one young one, I would even say some women that are a bit more mature chronologically, doing permanent damage to ourselves that you can't take back. So you will likely change what you want to eat, vegan, non-vegan, meat eater, this, that. You may change your religious and spiritual beliefs. Heck, now people are experimenting all with all different types of relationship models. So I would say, just in my little humble perspective, I don't know everything. I think I like litmus tests, especially for my young flowers and trees out there. A litmus test. What is a litmus test? It's a battery of tests, a check off that could keep you safe. Even if you desire to do this, I have a litmus test for food. I have a litmus test for people, and it helps protect me from my own self and my own ego, or perhaps my own subconscious drives. For example, somebody could be fine as heck. I've dated a professional bodybuilder, chocolate Adonis, but nobody is that fine at this point in my life for me to put myself and my reproductive organs and my body in harm's way. Right? So when you're in your 20s and you're figuring certain things out, you're taking your cues from your peers and you're taking your cues from celebrities, which is bad advice. I wouldn't use it as a litmus test because it's a lot of the foundation is built on fantasy, right? You can't see how people are living, and their reality is likely not your reality. So, in the absence of folks having perhaps a um, a really good quality source of feedback and a safe space to ask questions was not a conflict of interest of somebody trying to pimp you out, whether that's a poverty pimp, preacher, social media icon. I get it. Where do young women feel like there's a safe space to ask questions and not feel beat up on? Because some questions that you could ask can give you so much insight and keep you in check when your hormones are raging and somebody looking as fine as wine and you're about to make one mistake that could cost you an unplanned parenting situation and possibly link you to several people for the rest of your life, so at least 30 years. And the emotional and mental trauma, damage, confusion, we don't bounce back. I know we like we winning, we winning. Black women are okay. It's like that's like saying black doesn't crack. That's not the whole story. It's not the whole context. And folks will watch you walk right off a bridge and not say anything. And in all fairness, the climate is such that sometimes you can't say anything to folks because folks will go off on you. For example, online, I've heard young women adamantly, vehemently defend surgeries. Again, I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just not. However, like let's say, for example, the procedures with removing adipose tissue, the technical term for fatty tissue, from one area of your body to another. I've heard young women arguing that it's a natural process. I'm like, wow, are these young women serious? If you really think about it, adipose tissue, only tissue, I'm telling you as a trainer, somebody's been in nutrition and training for several decades, right? That's waste. It's not muscle tissue. It's not cardiac tissue. It's waste. So you're moving it from one area to another. So if ideally you're in a healthy range of adipose tissue for your body, because we do need some fat, right? That's usually not most of our issue. That is waste. So you're moving waste from one area to another. So how healthy, and it's an alteration. You're cutting something to move it in another area. And now it's coming out. A lot of these procedures are extremely unsafe. Yet if you go to someone for profit, it's a conflict of interest. So that could perhaps be a litmus test. Is there a conflict of interest in the advice being offered? And maybe perhaps we don't really want to deal with the reality that, this person, this doctor, this person that is attractive that I want to get with, there's a conflict of interest. That stuff a lot of times is not on your radar in your 20s and your 30s because you're so excited for a new procedure. And what's the latest celebrity doing? Meanwhile, they have the money and the makeup and the artists to switch back and forth. And that's not your situation at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we're making decisions that are altering ourselves permanently. And people are not telling you about their scars. They're not telling you about their body Now it's known, you can look on YouTube, explants, and there's a term now for the body rejecting these different chemicals and these uh, prosthetics basically that we're putting into the body for who. And it quite often no one's talking about, 5, 10 years down the line, how these different things we're putting into the body drop, they sag, because you can have all the surgery in the world. Gravity and aging, one of the primal fears, fear of old age, is coming for everybody. So I think it's interesting, why don't we just focus on our health? It's actually easier. It baffles the mind. So I'm very humbled by just how easily human beings, degrees and all of us, no, I'm not immune. I just strive to maintain some level of awareness, and I've got a decent amount of butt kicking lessons. And so sometimes I just wonder about the wiggle room of this generation, because so much is being pushed and pumped, to dramatically alter yourself to the point where you can't feel comfortable with aging. Aging is a part of life. We will all become crones with wrinkles. And can you be happy about that? Can you feel good about yourself? How do you plan to feel about yourself? Well, maybe some folks are planning to be out of here at an early age. I don't know. But can't I prioritize and put it like this? I'm prioritizing feeling good and at peace. Not perfect, because I'm human, in my body. It's the one that I have. This is my temple. It's going to get corns, stretch marks, discolorations. So why not just focus on health, which is the ultimate beauty product? And if you want to play around, we have the option to play and makeup and express ourselves and change our hair color. However, I can tell you what your litmus test is. My litmus test is, if I can't feel good when I take that stuff off, maybe that'll be different for you. If I don't feel good, only you are with you. If I can't feel good about myself, that's a red flag. If I feel that I need this stuff in order to feel at ease and at peace, that's an issue for me. It may not be the same for you. So I don't know if everybody takes the time to notice your internal dialogue. Let's say, for example, I'm pretty good with food. Give me 2 sticks, 2, 3 ingredients, and I can flip those ingredients every which way to Sunday. However, I notice even with my internal dialogue, the inner critic, oh my gosh, sometimes it's brutal. If you just listen to it, every time you do something, accomplish something, it's like high levels of criticism, not critique, criticism, and it can be very harsh. That's coming from inside our own mind. Where does that come from? Maybe it's from grade school with the grading system. Somehow it got in there somewhere. But even I can notice it and say, press pause and acknowledge it. I don't fight it, but I know it's like, wow, that's pretty harsh. That doesn't feel good. So noticing your internal dialogue, or how you feel about the things being marketed to you, can be really, really valuable. And I'm definitely one for dialing into and respecting your own divine, onboard, innate intelligence. Each and every human is born with an onboard intelligence. And no offense to folks, I've grown up very religious. I've done my stint in different religions. I trust myself more than a minister, more than an imam, more than any religious figure, more than any political figure. I trust myself. And that is something to be cultivated. I don't know that we're encouraged to do that. Now, there is a time and place to seek the wisdom of folks with experience, but it's also for us to, there can be multiple truths. Someone can be brilliant in this one area, have a brilliant skill, and have piss poor character. So I don't know that we're really encouraged to discernment. So, anywho, quick commercial break. This is the hair. I just did a little cut, right? So it's been sitting there. I did it right before the retreat. And I just cut off some areas where they were weak. They definitely was some areas that are weak from me putting lots of braids and stuff in there. And I always think it's really interesting how we talk about, or I'm sure you've heard if you're on YouTube, the hair grows 2 to 3 inches. I don't know, 2 to 3 inches considered a lot for the year. And I'm thinking like, wow, we'd be struggling for a little bit of inches when our hair is high shrinkage, and we'd just be holding on to the hair. So I was saying I wouldn't cut it again, but yeah, I cut it again. Sometimes I leave it. There've been times when I went to repair it, and then at times I'm like, I'm not doing all of that. I want ease. But if wherever you are on your journey, it's not wrong. it's not wrong. You will have to find your own sweet spot. So yeah, it's always interesting. Also, when I cut my hair, it's actually strong in some areas. It just had weak areas from areas where I put the beads in it. So it actually is strong. It just had weak areas. So this is pretty strong. But I notice when I look on the inside, I don't have any there's no buildup, right? Because there's no shampoo. Now I will say this. I've mentioned before there's a shampoo that I use, and I find I don't use it as often, right? Just now when I wash my hair, I water washed it or rinsed it thoroughly with a vigorous massage and just water. There are different things that you'll learn about your body and your hair the longer you are on your journey. I like to say you stay in the conversation. And I've noticed that some with very, very fine hair, our hair is already very delicate. We can be stripping it even with shampoo, which is one of the reasons that I found I don't use shampoo so much. There are a lot of times where I really like the feeling of water in my scalp and I'll massage it vigorously. And actually, right now, I can feel the sebum in my hair, right? And so when my hair was loose as somebody with fine hair, I was, watching water, washing channels to find out how to coat the hair with sebum, anything to assist my hair in being um, stable and strong. Yet I found that my skin and hair responds best to leaving it alone, to sweating vigorously daily, and to fresh food. That's it. Also, my hair also really likes because I'm not going to tie my hair up all the time. I will I have some silk squares that I've made that I will spread on the pillowcase, and I do notice that it just doesn't feel. There's a difference between dry because the hair is dry as it's drying right now, and dry brittle. So I notice this. I don't know if I want to say soothing. My hair just doesn't dry out when I put the pillowcase on it. Lulu Lynch, I trust myself. I know that's right. Greetings, Queen Ra, Carolyn Shepherd, and Lulu. Yeah, trusting yourself. It actually can be quite a feat in this climate of what I like to call triggeration, right? You're constantly, more than we can ever realize, our subconscious is constantly being triggered to those five basic fears: fear of death, their primal human fears, fear of old age, fear of loss of love and never finding love, fear of poverty, and fear of criticism. Right, those are the five basic human fears. So subconsciously, they're being triggered. One time I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why would I be fearful of criticism? Yet you can see where it shows up in areas where you're not getting into action and consistent action in areas you in your quiet moment, in areas that you know you should be addressing, whether that is getting into action with creativity, with a business, with expressing yourself artistically, things that you always wanted to do and you don't do it, things, activities around your health that you're just not getting into action. That's coming from somewhere. That's coming from somewhere. So this is why I like to unpack my internal dialogue. It takes something to tune in and to listen to your internal dialogue. Literally, it sounds funny, but to listen to it and observe it, sometimes you just can't because there's literally too much noise, which is why I love the early morning. Yeah, so it's here, still dripping a little bit on the bottom. We gave it a little bit of a haircut. I don't see anything in it. I didn't use any shampoo. Maybe I can replay this video later because I usually don't get to see what my hair looks like, and I'm not even actually thinking about it that much. So I can look back later, but it feels very, very soft. When people's like, "Oh, I put conditioner in my hair, it feels so soft," you know, it feels soft on its own just because it's not dried out. And this is just embracing the fro. So yeah, they're all flat. So you can see them flat. Many of them are joined. Sometimes there are two or four of them together because that's how fine the hair is. And it's kind of like this reddish brownish color. So this was four. And these used to be big, thick, double strand twists. So now I see definitely what my hair looks like when it matures, right? So I think that shampooing and over shampooing it, I don't have a problem shampooing it, but it's something to feel your own hair and skin to really dial in and feel and notice your hair. I think that over washing it, if you have very delicate hair that can't really take a lot of handling, could actually be stripping it, right? So let's say there's another young lady that has YouTube channel. She has very, very fine hair as well. Her channel is shout out to her, Nonconformist Eyewear. She's a freeformer. I don't know if I think she would be considered freeform because she doesn't do any twisting. So she's an excellent example of somebody with very, very fine hair. I love Ingrid from Toronto. She has gorgeous locks. She also does not twist her hair. She uses only shampoo, a natural shampoo. Let's see who else. Uh, Salkus Ray. I love her locks. Plus, she's such a brain. She's so smart and such a prolific artist. Who else's hair do I like? I can't think I name my other. She Deity. I think maybe she twists her hair maybe once or twice a year. Oh, and then it's definitely Queen Abike Idowu. She had long free forms for years, and she only does water wash. So she recently had some health situations where she cut her hair, but she's starting over. I mean, she had long, like super duper, way past I think down to her knees, locks, and it kind of, in a sense, the opposite of mine because they're so thick and she has so many of them. Meanwhile, I only have 30, and they're all flat. But she is someone that does water washing for her locks. So I've done all kind of experimentation, really simple. No gels, anything like that. The duration of my locks, which I think has been 6.5 or 7 years now with locks. I've done several little cuts, and I'm more comfortable with it. It has a little bit of length now. There were times where I was so tempted to slick the edges, even I, to slick the edges, and I was like, no, we're not doing that because then you're going to be in a whole store with products. And I purposefully got rid of my shower caddy, and I'm not planning on bringing it back because when it rains, the black gel gets all on your shirt. I used to have a tremendous amount of acne. I don't want any products or any unnecessary junk on my scalp. I don't want it. So all we've got is a simple shampoo, and I don't use that that often anymore. So I said I wouldn't cut it, but then I cut it. Um, yeah, so I've been studying some different things about fashion and symmetry. As somebody that's very, I don't know if I would say I'm very short. I'm 5'2". And just studying the way things frame the face. So I'm pretty satisfied. The thing that I love the most is the ease and the comfort. And yet I just want to say that's something that's intentional because I'm also well aware from the time you turn on these computers, you start comparing yourself. It's almost like it's triggered naturally. You start comparing yourself to other people. And it can be a flip side to that. Uh, if I'm looking at someone to see what possibilities are, I think that's great, right? Odette Wellington, also gorgeous locks. Definitely one of my inspirations to go oil free. Right. With this fine hair, I wasn't sure what it would look like. So for me, it was taking a risk. Like, okay, if I had to go into a corporate meeting or something like that, I'm not changing my hair. But I shout out to those people that are on their journey that are doing something else. You got to find your sweet spot. Why don't you use your hair? Why don't you see your hair that much? I guess because I don't look at it in the mirror. I just, you know what? I don't think about it. I don't say it because I just don't look at it in the mirror. I get up at when it's super duper early. So if our workout is at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, this time of the year, I'm 2 hours from the East Coast. So I'm usually online before the workout for meditation or whatever every morning. I'm an early bird. So my schedule goes back to back to back. So from working out and training, I go right into the garden, into cleaning, into going online. So it's kind of like not a priority, which is why I prioritize rolling on the floor. I have bunny rabbits playing in the garden. It's only so many hours in a day. And ideally, I need to go to bed early because I get up so early. So I guess I don't even think about it. I just don't look at my hair. That's so funny. Now I'm really thinking about it. I don't look at my hair that much. I might do a quick little something like this, which to me, I always wanted that. I always we see our vanilla counterparts. They can just throw a little hair holder and get the heck out the door. They can do one of these and get out the door. I'm like, why can't we be, carefree and go? And now I can. So I can wash and go. I'm not doing none of that. It's not that I don't like luxuriating, but it's just not a priority. Play and movement is a priority. I don't. So I feel comfortable, and whatever it's going to be is going to be. If my hair is holding on by a shoestring at some point, I will cut it all off and I will rock a peach fuzz baldy, which is what I did for many, many years. And I'm comfortable. I feel stunning and comfortable with my hair very low. So I'm just going along for this ride. So I guess I just don't look at it that much, except in the front. Even those rare occasions, I have some of those flexi rods, which I'll use to roll it, spritz it with some water, and keep it moving. But a lot of times, I'm just carefree because I have so much to do. I'd rather get my workout in. Um, I'd rather organize something. I'd rather be out in the garden. So I kind of can't maintain these styles. I only have so many hours in a day. So I don't have a whole mirror set up. I just have the bathroom mirror. I do have some big mirrors that I'll use for exercise and form, but I just don't look at it in the back. Yeah. So that's really interesting. It's not, and I actually like that. I like feeling free and comfortable in my skin. I think that is so important to your esteem, right? Because it's going to be challenged. I was around so many stunning women. Oh my gosh, all these like goddess women at this retreat with different lock styles and natural hairstyles, and it can almost be an inclination to start comparing yourself to other people. So it really takes something to sit comfortable on the seat or the throne of your own existence, and just to sit on a style that you have curated for yourself. So I made a decision. I'm going to rock with the no twisting and the no oil and find a way to make it work for me. So now it has a little bit of length. I can see what it looks like mature. I can tuck it behind my ears, right? That's something I always wanted to do, right? Carefree. I just washed it. So once I go outside right now, it's really warm where I am. It's going to dry before, I get several blocks. Yeah. So I find that so freeing. I had to grab some water. Grab some water. I got some water in the wine glass. Wine glass. Get some water. Yeah, so I find it I'm into ease and relaxation because I think that ease and relaxation are, with ease and relaxation, I think it's easy to find, I think it's easier to be motivated, excuse me, to get into your movement practice, to get into your healthy eating, and to get into your garden. When you have ease and relaxation, you have the mental space to focus on what is really important, in contrast to like this spastic anxiety when you turn on these screens, buy, consume, and I like nice things, don't get me wrong, but it's at the end of the day when I just look back, heart and wisdom, all the things I purchased over here, most of that stuff went into the garbage. That could have been land, travel, so many other things. So I just don't think it's the most important thing. I like fashion, like that. It's not the most important thing. If I keep myself healthy, I don't have to buy so many clothes. I just don't. I don't want to be. I don't want to be a slave on a whole stroll to products and people trying to sell me stuff. In a nutshell. There's so much else I could be doing with my time. So that's why I call this freedom here. I'm free. It's fine. I found a way to embrace it. I know what it's like to feel like, oh my gosh, to keep trying to do everything desperately with your hair, and it's like nothing looks right. And it's interesting over the years, some of my most favorite hairstyles were things that I stumbled on by mistake out of frustration with trying all the tutorials, and they just wouldn't look the same because my hair is not dense. It didn't have as many follicles, it wasn't as full. So, and just being creative, I found a way to work with my hair. Um, yeah, and I found it like, wow, that was more flattering, right? It's like sometimes you can make recipes and food. The stuff you throw together sometimes tastes better than the stuff you have with all these different recipes. So over here, I made a decision. Health is my ultimate beauty product, and I want to be comfortable when my hair is totally white and the breasts are no longer firm mangoes. They're healthy and tumor free. You put on a good bra, That's not sticking you in your ribs, and keep moving. Oh, you said P 11 years PK, 11 years locked. I started with permed hair comb coils. I combined some. Now I gave all size and length. I only wash and do my roots twice a year. Other than that, I wash and hot oil treatment. Simplicity. You know what? I just really feel passionately. We deserve to be comfortable in our own hair and skin. I get it. Black women, Afro women, we can rock some fashion. We're creative, whether it's baby hair, whatever. However, the comfortability in our own skin, the comfortability in our own skin. So before I run out of here, one of my latest, I'm always finding a new form of movement. It's like getting on the rides at the amusement park. And so my latest thing, other than my my son was like, "Mommy, you got a stripper pole?" I was like, "No, son, it's a fitness pole." He's like, "That's a stripper pole." It's a fitness pole. Call it what you want. I love it. I love it. So whether it's Ashtanga yoga, I've done fitness competitions, hot yoga, hatha yoga, obstacle courses on my birthday, taking swimming classes. I'm still not the most proficient swimmer yet. I have fallen in love with belly dance and another form of Tahitian dance. I know me and mortars and pestles and hand tools in the kitchen and dance. This is why I prioritize freedom. I will not ever have my hair holding me back from jumping into waterfalls, because sometimes I get invited. You want to go to the waterfalls? You want to get invited here or there? And I got to get wet. I got to get wet. I'm not missing out on no fun because of a hairstyle. That's nuts. That is nuts. Well, I got to be going crazy with people can't touch. My loved ones can run their hands through this glorious cottony mane. I can run my hair and then I'll have all this oil and Jerry curl juice. I had a Jerry curl and a gold tooth. Yes, I had a Jerry curl and a gold tooth. Who am I to judge? So I feel so fortunate to be able to be comfortable in my skin. A lot of times I'll just do today, I have some shea butter. That's how I'm rocking my eyebrows. I'm just glad my eyebrows are still here. After all of that tweezing and stuff, sometimes we were just picking and picking and picking and picking and picking. That was part of it with all the scarring on my face with the acne. Picking and picking and picking and picking and picking and picking. Scars. So all the Ambi and the skin lightening in the world is not going to help you if you're constantly picking your face. I like to get to the root of things. I want to get to the root. So I don't want to be on the whole stroll. I don't want to be in a whole stroll. I prioritize ease and relaxation. And I want to play at the drop of a dime. If I'm walking by somebody and they got the double Dutch rope going, I'm getting a jump. I'm jumping in, right? I want to play. So my hair is made for the garden. It's made for play. It's made for adventure. It's made for adventure. I want to dip in the ocean. I want to go on the waterfalls. I want to get in the canoe. The big rapids, that's a little intense. But I want to get in the water. I want to get wet if I need to. If there's sand in my hair, then maybe I'll use some of that natural shampoo to get it out. But it's made for the garden. A lot of times it'll get stuck. Now it's almost dry. Easy breezy. I don't have to do anything because there's no products. And if you look at the video on this channel, the Afroflower hair challenge. I don't know if anybody's taking that challenge just to see what your hair does. I was cutting and cutting and cutting and getting scissor happy. And this one I had cut up here. So now this one has grown. It's been a couple of months. I don't know what the date is on it, but you can see that video on this channel. And I've done several kind of cuts where I'm cutting length off like this, like several times. So I'm just going along for the journey. I feel comfortable. I don't have any dandruff, none. My scalp has never felt so good. Not one lick or iota of oil, none. Pure freedom. Miyagi James, amen. I want to get back to how free I was leading up until like 14, 15 years old. Yes, I'm gonna go outside and play. Nobody was thinking about food or overthinking about hair when you were little. Somebody had to make you come in the house, right, to eat, or make you sit down and get your hair done. So what I will do to kind of neaten it, my hair does grow away from the lock. It's like I just washed it. Is I'll tie it down with a scarf. For a few minutes, that's it. So that kind of makes my fro lay in place, and sometimes a little piece that will stick up here, Look, watch this complicated technique, y'all. Y'all ready? Watch, it's so complicated. So complicated. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at all the complication. So I'm like, is it me? This is simple. Eating healthy should not be expensive, right? To look beautiful, if we could use that word, or to feel really attractive to you and your own skin, it shouldn't be this complicated thing that's not accessible unless you have 20 tons of stuff on. It's too, I find it stressful. All of that stuff on long term, that's another job to impress who predators on the internet. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I can't do it. Well, I'm realizing how much I don't plan my hair for things I love to do. You blessed, girl. You blessed. You blessed. You blessed. You blessed. You blessed. You blessed. This is I'm looking at this as a blessing, um, in contrast to a curse. And there's a video on this channel, an older video that is, let's say, I think it was called "Many People Hate This Hair," and several people, I think a couple of people are offended. But I'm telling the truth. That's been my experience. Maybe your experience is different. But my hair color, my hair texture, it being fine. This is a hair that is very frustrating for many Afro women. Why? Because it's not behaving like many of our other counterparts, other Afro women or folks with maybe perhaps a mixed texture or a looser curl. It doesn't behave like that. And I have found over the years by accident and experimentation and being creative, like eureka. What happens if you just stop the madness, just embrace the fro that's at the base? My scalp has never felt better. I could even notice a natural sheen in my hair when I would wash it with that one little natural shampoo. I was like, oh my gosh, my hair has a sheen. It's just the light is not reflect. I have a list. Refracting off of our kinky hair like it is other people's hair. So I'm like, I got a different set of eyes that doesn't match my hair. It's clean. I'm telling you, my scalp feeling clean. I never had a big dandruff problem before. But when I tell you, no itching, my scalp feels so soft and comfortable. I'm like, this is what people look for with conditioner. Are you kidding me? I need none of that. None? Zero? I don't need no styling gel. None of that. And the most baby hair I'll get is when I'm sweating from exercise. This will curl up on its own. Freedom. I need freedom. I want to play and I want to enjoy myself now. Today, it's a lot of folks that are traumatized walking around on the planet. They might decide to blow the sucker up, and I don't know if I'm going to get another human body. So I need to enjoy myself right now. Whatever stuff is looking like, other people, money, I need to enjoy myself right now in the skin that I'm in. It's ease and relaxation. We deserve to feel comfortable in our own hair and skin. You can play, you can do whatever you want. I ain't the hair police, I ain't the food police. I deserve to feel comfortable in my own hair and skin. And who has an incentive to make sure that I feel comfortable in my own hair and skin? Me, because it's a conflict of interest. Everybody's trying to sell me something, right? So it's a conflict of interest. So only I am really going to be able to write a prescription for me. And I think that goes across the board with our mental and emotional health. I don't think in our 20s and 30s there's so many things that we don't factor on that we pick up or we experiment with, or expose ourselves to that we don't bounce back from, right? And we busy high-fiving each other on things that are not so healthy. That's the beauty of freedom with Locs. I don't do much. No styles, no gels, only oil. Yeah, I hear you, child. I'm not even doing that. I don't want anything. No oil. I don't want the oil on my face to me. As someone that's had a truckload of acne, that was stressful to me. I was walking around doing fitness competitions looking buff with all of this acne. And I'm not, if I'm active all the time in fitness, who wants to wear waterproof makeup? I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not saying that one day I might not do a photo shoot and play, because we have the right to play and express and change. But feeling obligated, like I have to buy 50 million products, that to me is pure stress. I'd rather spend it on good quality food. I'd rather go get me some soursop. I'm gonna give me some soursop, some lychee, some longan, some papaya. I'd rather do that. I focus on my movement practice, my garden, and my food. That's my priorities, right? And then, I don't have to do that much with clothes. I want ease and I want relaxation, ease and relaxation. That to me is a big cornerstone of health. Is ease and relaxation and less that I have to do. I gotta get this, then I gotta get this. I gotta get the shampoo, then I get the conditioner, then I gotta get the setting lotion, then I gotta get the pre-poo, then I got to get the clarify. I'm not doing all of that. That's stress that I just don't need. I would be sad also to miss on activities and get wet because of hair. I'm not scared of the rain either. I know that's right. But many of us are. Many of us are. And so, again, I can appreciate all kinds of styles. And I don't eat animal flesh anymore, but I can appreciate traditional cooking techniques. I just did something with a gentleman that we were preparing food, and he's not vegan. Actually, he does all kinds of meat and cuts of steak and stuff. And we were having a ball doing tasting of spices. And actually, it's interesting. He wants to learn all stuff about vegan cuisine, and he's not even vegan. So I can really appreciate folks from all different types of walks of life. I just prioritize knowing what's my sweet spot is, what I can eat and what I can't eat. I can't eat what everybody else is eating. I can't eat exactly what my son is eating or the big grown man is eating. Certain things are going to jack my skin up. Certain things will likely make me 300 pounds very easily. I don't have half of my thyroid. So only you can write the prescription and find your way there to your sweet spot. Relaxation to me is skincare, though. I massage my body, my face. I know that's right. I do breast massage on a regular basis. I'm not waiting for a gift certificate for a massage. I do breast massage and stomach massage daily. So we do talk about some of the stuff in Flower Fit. By the way, there's Flower Fit. There's group coaching on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those folks that are endeavoring to give the way that they eat, which is not a diet, to do an overhaul and dramatically improve your consumption patterns. So it's focused on whole, fresh, living, and unprocessed foods. If anything, you can do your own processing, right? That's not a diet. You would be amazed. And a personal movement practice and learning how to find how many calories or units of energy or gas your car needs, and upgrading your fuel. So there's group coaching on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then there's Flower Fit Community, right? So that is on the Discord app. If you're interested in that, download the Discord app. I'm Body-Culinary on that server. And then go through the links around. You'll find a link around here somewhere on my channel, some of the previous videos. There is a link to Discord, or if you send me an email, info@body-culinary.com if you're interested in that. Fit Flower Community. That is a space that I've started to put together, really inspired by a lot of my young flowers that ask me questions. So somehow I'm meeting all these beautiful young women that just have questions for me. And also there are women of various ages that have so many different gifts and insight to offer. So the focus is those leveraged lifestyle practices, real simple. Starting a garden, whatever environment that you're in. It's quite a few ladies with a green thumb. A garden, cultivating or reactivating your movement practice as a deep form of self-administered therapy. So it's positive accountability, right? So you can share pictures of your food, of your workout with one of those fancy heart rate monitors that you got. And it's also peaceful consumption, which is basically food that loves you back, simply. So it's a litmus test. That means not clogging your arteries. It's not clogging your colon. It's not clogging your skin. Food that loves you back. And it's not depositing a whole lot of waste on your waistline. So that's what that focus is, Flower Fit Community. So do fill out an application on the Google form so that I can identify. If I can't identify, I do not open the space because I prioritize a safe space for myself, for women, girls, and young people, right? And right at this particular time, that's open to women and girls that have our own concerns with our uterus and our natural breasts. At some point, I'll do something else that is more co-ed, but that is the focus right now. Or vitamin E oil is amazing. Yes, and a little goes a long way. Yes. ME Ultra. What about using oils for health benefits? I know we don't need them, but jojoba oil and rosemary oil have wonderful benefits. I think try them out. If they work, if it works for you, you should work it. I don't think there's any way around experimentation. I spent so much money on things at the health food store that I gave away I didn't use. It wasn't a match for me, or they worked for me at one time and now they no longer work for me. Like for example, I don't care for oil anymore in my food, which is absolutely amazing. I was a junk food junkie, junk food junkie. So I'm a reformed junk food junkie. So it's amazing that I just don't crave oil, not in my food from the health food store. I don't care for oil because my palate has shifted, so it tastes oily to me. Now I can prepare food with oil for other people. I don't prefer to cook with oil if I was preparing it for other people, and if I did use oil, it would be only cold pressed. So it's a journey. It's a journey. Your palate can change. So much can change. It's a journey. Same. That's what I'm saying. Your hair, your values, different things are going to change. So why do permanent damage to yourself? Same thing. Like if I had to tell any of my young flowers, if you would have asked me, I ain't tell nobody what to do. But I would recommend most folks work with natural, safe, because there are unsafe henna, right? So you can move it around, experiment with different things instead of altering your body permanently when your views are going to change, right? Because some stuff you can't take back. I had a tattoo and I went to have it removed and I wanted to get a keloid, right? So I'm just saying to young flowers, just take your time and consider, see if there are other options so you don't have to alter yourself permanently when you haven't thought of what life is looking like 10, 20, 30 years down the line. Yeah, big deal. Big deal. Jojoba is great for your for acne, and rosemary for growth. So I grow fresh rosemary, and most of the properties of the oil I like to get from the fresh food. So there's a book that I put out a long time ago called, and my hair was not locked because I didn't intend for my hair to lock. It locked during my travels. That's another story. But I decided to get rid of my shower caddy, even all the health food store products. I just felt like it was too much. So I actually put food on my face. I use food. If I can eat it, that's what I put on my hair and my skin. So jojoba oil, vitamin E, I strive to get all of that actually from the food, right? If they put something in the capsule, I'm usually curious, well, how did it get inside the capsule? Right? So I find I like getting everything from the fresh food, right? So for example, oil is 100% fat. If you're getting it in the avocado, you still have fiber, you still have living enzymes, you still have some carbohydrate in it, while oil is 100% fat. So I still use it. I use it on my olive oil on my skin and coconut oil on my for breast and stomach massage. But none of it is wrong, right? None of it is wrong. You'll find your sweet spot along your journey. If it's working for you, I'd rather use foods and things that I can recognize than a bunch of chemicals. Well, that'll be me soon. I wait for my house to be ready. I will have my garden beautiful, beautiful. And I want to encourage you folks, if you're in an apartment, trust me, everybody can grow something. Even if you start with one beautiful herb to eat that you really like, if that's basil or cilantro, and one beautiful plant, a simple plant like a pothos, right? I've heard some girls say, I don't have a green thumb. Well, a pothos is pretty simple. It's easy to grow and sprout right inside of a jar or a recycled bottle with some water. And then you'll have some beautiful plants off of that one plant in your home, right? So I wanted to just come, you'll grow stuff in Africa. All right, beautiful. Nice, nice. So if you eat when you're in states, wherever you are, because I started out in a New York City apartment growing stuff in all kinds of containers, recycled cans, like the Brothers Beat on in the train station, all kinds of jars. Traveling, I've grown stuff, food in stockings. I grew loads of kale and old recycled rice sacks. So go figure. So when people saying you can't do this and you can't do that, why not? What do you have to lose from you already paid the money for the produce, especially if it's organic. Anything that has a seed, put that sucker in the ground and see what happens. So this also can really help those folks that are looking to overhaul your food, right? Because you'll get a different perspective. Different types of intelligence will kick off and kick in that garden, which is why I'm always talking about the garden. Start the garden. Have you started your garden yet? If not, why not? What are you waiting for? Kwanzaa? I'm sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. About to get up here. My hair just about dry. Just sitting here, and it's light and fluffy. Just the very end's a little bit damp. So I just washed my hair not even 25 minutes ago, right? And this is what it's looking like. I tied up for maybe just a couple of minutes with a scarf. Now I'm about to hit the road, about to get on my bicycle. So the water on my dress will dry. The rest of my hair will dry when I'm on the bicycle outside. See, this hair is good for adventure and for play. So I hope you all are having a great day. Hopefully I'll see you. Chrissy Mosey, blessings to you. Always good to catch you live in London growing mushrooms. Yes, you're growing. Girl, you growing mushrooms. Share your stuff in Flower Fit. Fill out the applications, Flower Fit community, right? Because there's several young women that are growing, right? So we can see what you're growing in your garden. You might be inspired by what some other people are growing. To me, it's super exciting. Super exciting. Every time I'm watching flowers open or food come to a point where it's ripe, that's like a little miracle because I didn't grow up farming or with a garden. So do share if you want some good company for gardening. Don't judge me. I'm about to eat these grits and bacon. But I do have mandarin peach smoothie on the side, child. You got to start where you're at. So if that mandarin and that peach are your gateway to health, then fine. Everybody's at a different space in their journey. So I'm not the food police. Like how I'm still a country boy at breakfast. All right now. So as long as your colon and your arteries and your skin and your longevity and your body's ability to function is rocking with that, then rock out, honey. Go with what your results are, because the party in your mouth is one thing, but functioning optimally, right? I like to say, what do you need your body to do for you the next 10, 20, 30 years? So that's not about my judgment. Only you know in your quiet moments. It's my family. I come from a family history of morbid obesity, diabetes, mastectomies. I've worked in a holistic health center. I've seen endless amount of women coming with fibroid tumors and cysts. So the party in your mouth, I get it, but that's not enough. I can't afford to eat only for taste. And I'm a chef and I like to prepare food that's delicious. That's what saves me too. Oh, so if y'all don't have a copy, check out Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget, right? So that's what I've been doing all these years with whole, fresh, unprocessed foods. It is possible to live this way long terms. Yes, ma'am, I hear you. Yeah, you got to do what you can. If you are satisfied with your results, only you know in your quiet moments. If you have reached a state of like, it's like a 10 for you in terms of performance, energy level, you're not constipated, you feel like you can travel on the road with your food, that's your lifestyle, then rock out. If it's working for you, then work it. Only you know in your quiet moments by yourself. We are encouraged today, though, to go into cognitive dissonance and self-delusion. So I don't know if that's you. Only you know. But I'm all for the ease, right? So let me go jump on this bike so that I can be riding for a few minutes and the rest of it will dry. So this is what we cut in this little cut, right? Which is fine, right? So more attached to it being healthy. Not everything is like super even, and that's fine. I'm just rocking out with this. I still eat sometimes, but I can't pork no more. I find it hard to stop fish though. I'm on the seaside. Eat the best of what's available to you. Like I wouldn't sweat it. Again, look at your results and education and results and seeing so much separation. That's how I got to this space. If I felt like fish or something else was healthy and it worked for me, that's what I would do. So I'm not here to say everybody has to do what I'm doing. What I can say is that everybody's body is going to benefit from whole, fresh, living, unprocessed fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. That part is easy and it's simple. Seafood in Africa where I grew up. All right. Okay. Make sure you get lots of greens in there. Hopefully you're getting lots of greens in there. Right? There's a lot of drought-resistant crops. Africa has no shortage of farming knowledge or land. Biggest landmass, right? So it's possible to grow a nice garden. And then the older folks, they know how to grow drought-resistant crops, right? So good luck with your garden over there. Traditional meals are seafood, but yes, I greens over here. Greens is part of my meat. Greens is money for your body, straight up and down. That's how I call it. Greens is money for your body. That's at the cellular level. So greens is one of my mainstays. And they're sending us some warm, positive vibrations. Like, comment respectfully, subscribe, and I'll touch base with you soon. I wanted to come check in because this retreat was intense, and there will be an opportunity. It can't take a lot of women, but for a personalized retreat, we have a retreat, and that's next year, a bigger one. But this one for folks that want to be immersed in whole living, unprocessed foods, and fitness, going to the waterfalls and being immersed in nature in Central America. So if you're interested in that, hit me up at info@body-culinary.com. Create a great day on purpose, and I'll see you soon.